I told them that we have a tremendous legacy to live up to that's been established by the veterans that have gone before us. So thank you again. On the field, I'd like to recognize, first of all, the band that performs at all these ceremonies, the graduations, other ceremonies, changes of command. For every performance you see like that, there are a couple rehearsals that go into it. Whether it's raining, windy, cold, wet, whatever, they're out there doing it. They do a great job. The band looks great today. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, the main event. The people that we're most here to see are the drill sergeants and the soldiers standing before you, who have suffered through 14 weeks for Delta Company of 11 Bravo training and 15 weeks for Foxtrot Company for 11 Charlie training. The drill sergeants standing in the front are the ones responsible for this tremendous transformation that you've seen, and for the young man and the proud soldiers that you see standing before us. So a round of applause for the drill sergeants, please. One of the benefits of the job as battalion commander is that I get to participate in these events, and fortunately I have a lot of people that can be guest speakers, so I don't have to speak to you time after time. But today it's my honor and privilege to introduce today's guest speaker, Command Sergeant Major Bill Morgan. You can read his bio in your program, and as you read it, you will see that he served in infantry positions all the way from rifleman up to battalion command sergeant major. He served in regular infantry units in Korea, Ranger, regiment units, light infantry units, and also in a striker unit. He has combat experience, he has a wealth of knowledge, and we're honored today to have him. Please join me in a round of applause for Command Sergeant Major Bill Morgan. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's try this again. This is Fort Benning. This is home of the infantry. Good morning. Good morning. All right, that's better. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Major General Wojciechowski and Command Sergeant Major Ulibarri, Commander and Command Sergeants Major of the U.S. Army Infantry Center in Fort Benning, I would like to welcome you to the home of the infantry, Fort Benning, Georgia. And as Lieutenant Colonel Humphrey said, the band, you always look wonderful. Thanks for being here today, and thanks for representing us so well. Okay, good things come in threes, so I'm going to pass this along. This past Sunday, we celebrated Veterans Day. I hope you had the opportunity to attend some sort of ceremony or had the opportunity to thank a veteran. At this time, once again, I would like to thank our veterans and ask them to please rise and give them a big round of applause. Thank you. It is almost ironic that I stand before you today and recognize this graduating class of our newest infantrymen in the United States Army. You see, it was 25 years ago, almost to the day, that I was graduating from this very same organization with my battle buddy, Command Sergeant Major Cal Penna. And I can remember, and if I can remember back that far, the only thing on my mind was that the guest speaker hurry up and say what he has to say and move out. Retired Major General Morgan, Colonel Haskins, Command Sergeant Major Cal Penna, Mrs. Cal Penna, Lieutenant Colonel Humphreys, Mrs. Humphreys, First Sergeant McDermott, distinguished guests, family and friends, but more importantly, the greatest soldiers on earth, the graduates of Delta and Foxtrot companies of 1st Battalion, 50th Infantry. It's a great honor that I stand before you today in awe of these great warriors who are out on that field. For the last 14 weeks, they have honed their skills on basic rifle marksmanship, first aid, Army combatives, land navigation, foot marches, and physical training. They have also changed from a culture they grew up in and are taught the Army values that soldiers live by today. These values are as follows: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. And for some of you that had the opportunity to spend some time with your soldier yesterday, they have learned somewhat of a different language and a lot of acronyms. Things like HUA are now become a part of their vocabulary, and I'll give them the opportunity to explain that to you later. I would like to take a moment to thank the entire cadre, but more importantly, the drill sergeants, who took these civilian boys off the streets and turned them into the men that stand before you today. I guarantee you that the men you have trained will never forget you and what you've taught them in such a short period of time. Again, let's give these drill sergeants a round of applause. When I found out I was going to address this distinguished audience, I went to one of my favorite places to find information on anything. Yes, I went to Google. I asked a simple question: what is an infantryman? And an interesting answer appeared, and I'd like to share that with you today. The average age of the infantryman is 19 years old. He is short-haired, tight-muscled kid who, under normal circumstances, is considered by society as half man, half boy. Not yet dry behind the ears, but old enough to die for his country. He never really cared much for work. He would rather wax his own car than wash his father's. But he has never collected unemployment either. He is a recent high school graduate. He was probably an average student, pursued some sort of sports activity, drives a 10-year-old jalopy, and has a steady girlfriend that either broke up with him when he left or swears to be waiting when he returns from half the world away. He listens to rock and roll, country, rap, and also the sounds of a 155mm howitzer. He is 10 to 15 pounds lighter than he was when he was at home, because he's working or fighting from before dawn to well after dusk. He has trouble spelling, thus writing can be a pain for him. Moms, don't take it personal. But he can field strip a rifle in 30 seconds and reassemble it in less. He can recite the nomenclature of an M60 or an M240 Bravo machine gun or a grenade launcher and use either one effectively if he must. He digs foxholes and latrines and can apply first aid as a professional. He can march until he's told to stop or stop until he's told to march. He obeys orders instantly and without hesitation, but he is not without spirit or individual dignity. He is self-sufficient. He has 2 sets of fatigues. He washes one and wears the other. He keeps his canteens full and his feet dry. He sometimes forgets to brush his teeth, but he never forgets to clean his rifle. He can cook his own meals. He can wash his own clothes and fix his own hurts. If you are thirsty, he'll share his water with you. If you are hungry, his food. He'll even split his ammunition with you in the midst of battle when you run low. He has learned to use his hands like weapons and his weapons like they were his hands. He can save your life or take it, because that's his job. He will often do twice the work of a civilian, draw half the pay, and still find ironic humor in it all. He has seen more suffering and death than he should in his short lifetime. He has wept in public and in private for his friends who have fallen in combat, and he's unashamed, just as did his father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. He is paying the price for our freedom, beardless or not. He is not a boy. He is the American fighting man. He has kept this country free for over 200 years. He asks nothing in return except our friendship and understanding. Remember him always, for he has earned our respect and admiration with his blood. He is an infantryman. In closing, thank you. In closing, to the soldiers that stand before us today, you will be meeting up with your units over the next coming weeks and months. Some we will meet up within a combat zone, others will be preparing to deploy to a combat zone. I will tell you, remember your training that was taught here to you at Fort Benning, and listen to your leaders. You can't go wrong. Isaiah chapter 6 asks the question, whom shall I send? And the reply is, send me, I will go. And while we are a nation at war, you have answered the same calling. Send me, I will go. Thank you again, and I wish you Godspeed, and be safe on your travels. You do not have to make up for 14 weeks in one day. Follow me.